Hi, and welcome to another Forest Service web tutorial. My name is Mariana Dobre, and I'm a research scientist at University of Idaho, working on the development side of WEPPcloud. In this video, we'll talk about importing a soil burn severity map into the WEPPcloud undisturbed interface. The first step you do when you run the interface will depend on what your intention is. If you want to run the model for undisturbed conditions, which is the default option, then you directly start with zooming into your area of interest and delineating the channels. However, if you're planning to run the wildfire simulation, then you will start with uploading a soil burn severity map. In this case, the interface will replace the default 2016 National Land Cover Database classes with 4 burn severity classes. These are undisturbed, low, moderate, and high severity. These changes will be made not only for the forested areas, but also for shrubs or other land cover classes. So let's talk about uploading a soil burn severity map first, as once you have the map uploaded, all the other steps to run the interface are similar to an undisturbed model run. If you are part of the Burned Area Emergency Response Team, or BEAR, with the Forest Service, then you will be provided with a soil burn severity map. However, if you are a student or a researcher that wants to model a watershed for post-fire conditions, you will need a map to upload to the interface. For those of you that are not familiar with the soil burn severity maps, these are maps of burned areas created from both pre- and post-fire satellite images that have been field validated. When we use these maps instead of the default land cover maps, the interface will assign management and soils based on the burn severity. This is an example of a soil burn severity map for the Beachy Creek fire that started burning in August 2020 in the state of Oregon. So you can clearly see the 4 classes: green for undisturbed, cyan for low severity, yellow for moderate severity, and red for high severity. There is an important distinction between validated and unvalidated soil burn severity classes. The unvalidated maps are called Burned Area Reflectance Classification, or BARC maps, and can also be classified in 4 classes. However, these are created based on the raw satellite data, and they don't always accurately reflect the conditions on the ground, since the satellite images often have issues with cloud cover or snow cover. You can usually find these BARC maps from the Monitoring Trends in Burn Severity, or MTBS website. For example, this is the same map for the Beachy Creek taken from the MTBS website, where you can see that the soil burn severity areas have more pixels characterized as high severity, though after the field validation, these pixels were categorized as low or moderate severity. So see how different the 2 maps appear. If you're planning on using the WEPPcloud interface to make management decisions, then we highly recommend that you select a soil burn severity map instead of a BARC map, as they better reflect the fire effects on the soils and not on the vegetation. We do use sometimes these BARC maps in areas where we don't have a soil burn severity map, but mainly for educational purposes. The soil burn severity maps are created by the USDA Forest Service Geospatial Technology and Application Center. You could request these maps for current fires if you are part of a BEAR assignment, or you can download the maps of old fires from a list of available maps. These maps are usually created during a BEAR assignment and uploaded on this website at a later time. If we look at the year 2022, you won't see many fires, as the fire season hasn't started yet, since at the time of recording this video, we are still in May. There are many fires in the US right now, but only for a few of them you will find a soil burn severity uploaded for 2022. If you select year 2020, for example, and scroll down to region 6, you can find the soil burn severity map that we looked at earlier for the Beachy Creek fire. Here you have 2 options: to download the preliminary raw map created from satellite images, or to download the field validated soil burn severity map. Now you can go ahead and download the soil burn severity map so we can upload it to the interface. If we go back to the model run that we just started, we have an option to select a file from our computer and then upload it to WEPPcloud. Now I will upload the soil burn severity map that I downloaded earlier from the website I just showed you. Make sure you select an image that has an extension .img or .tiff, as these are georeferenced map and they will overlap to your area of interest. You cannot upload a JPEG or PNG image. Once you select your map, then click the upload button and wait for the image to pop up. Now we can see the 4 map classes: undisturbed, low, moderate, and high severity. However, you also see around the map some other large areas that are also represented in red, which is not quite accurate since the fire didn't even burn in this area. This is very common as these maps are created by different individuals at different times, and everybody might be using different codes to classify the maps. In most cases, you will find the 4 classes. However, when these classes are registered in the raster map, they might be numbered as 0, 1, 2, 3 or as 1, 2, 3, 4. And similarly, the no data pixels might be registered as anything above a specific number or assigned a totally random number. We could leave this map as is because the 4 soil severity classes in our map are represented correctly. But if you still want to get rid of the red pixels on the outside of the fire, then scroll down and look at the classes from the map upload summary. You might also want to expand this option to view the classifications by pixels. From this information, we can see that the high soil burn severity pixels are classified as 4, which is common, but that there are also pixels classified as 127, which are also assigned a high soil burn severity class. If you want to go back to the summary and change the breaks to 1, 2, 3, 4, and the no data pixels to 127, and then click on the modify fire classes. If you go back to the map, you can now see all the corrected soil burn severity classes without the extra red areas. You are now ready to use this map as a base for the model runs in WEPPcloud, but remember to always make sure that the 4 classes are represented correctly. This is all for this video. In the next video, we will look at how to delineate a watershed.